Ryan.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you have the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
The Rich Eisen Show.
So who's ruining baseball? Is it the Dodgers? Because they're seeing this and they're highly capitalized to take advantage of it? You can't blame the Dodgers for this one. It cost them $9 million and 3 prospects. That's it. They're also spending all this money, $1 billion in the future, and $500 million now almost. And they're like, we'll pick Scooble, $400 million. Let's start talking. How much you want to defer?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. This is Freddie and Harry.
I can't wait to see this wide receiver group with Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith and Jigba in a full offseason and a full year starting out for Rashid Shaheed. So I'm going with Seattle as the second best team in the NFL right now, which is so unique about the NFC West, because you can sit up here and make a gripe that the top 10 teams in the NFL, 3 of those are in the NFC West.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 5 Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN. Richmond. It's time to get your morning going. Spicy.
We are going to wreak havoc.
I'm thinking about it's the gang. Holy bitch. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Rashid Shaheed. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz The Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz The Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Thursday morning, August 13th. Appreciate you clacking and getting your day started with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill. We are one day away. Tomorrow, the show will be coming to you live from the Richmond Raceway. We'll have special guests dropping on by throughout the entire show. We've got a special guest host coming to join us. It's Pat Jaggers. He'll be joining us for the entire 2-hour show tomorrow. We are absolutely pumped for tomorrow's show from the Richmond Raceway. We're currently trying to figure out exactly who's going to be dropping by, but that means you just got to tune in for the full 2 hours because you just do not know who's going to be dropping by, driver-wise, MRN-wise, and everything else in between. Today's show, a little bit different than what we've been doing it with in terms of the two-a-days with the high school football previews. We've got Freeman and Patrick Henry today that we're going to be previewing. That's at 8:15. Second hour, we're going to be joined by Jason Toy from MRN. He'll be joining us right at 9 a.m. to talk a little bit about the race tomorrow. That's Jason Toy, MRN pit reporter at 9 a.m. And then for the remainder of the show, 9:15 through the rest of it, we'll be airing Sidetracked with Alan Tebow from Ashton Creek Vineyard. He's a Virginia Tech grad. We talk about winemaking. We talk about his experience at Virginia Tech, what he thinks about James Franklin, that hire, how he wants to be reinvigorated as a Hokie football fan. So that's coming up in hour number 2 as well. As we look around the NFL, we've gotten a couple of quarterbacks named. We've gotten a couple of starters. Throw an asterisk next to that. We've gotten a couple of preseason starters named. Kyler Murray, he has been named QB1 preseason or regular season. That's the only one we know in terms of the quarterback competitions that are going on around the NFL. A couple other quarterback competitions. Whatever's happening up in Cleveland, who really knows what's happening up in Cleveland? And in Atlanta, you've got Tua, and then you've got an injured Michael Penix Jr., so it seems to be Tua, but who knows? Deshaun Watson in Cleveland has been named the week 1 preseason opener, as has Tua. But yesterday, Stefanski reminded everyone that just because Tua is the preseason week 1 starter and Penix is still dealing with an injury, so he hasn't really been able to show what he's got. Stefanski still not naming a week 1 starter for the regular season.
I know the semantics of it. As you guys know, I'm not there. We're not there to name a starter for week 1. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Obviously, feel very good about where Tua is, where all of our guys are, and he will start on Friday night.
Here's the thing. Are preseason games even worth watching? I want to throw this question to you, Alan, and I want to throw it out to you as well. 804-327-0888. Call or text in. You watch preseason games because you're a sicko, right? But are they even worth watching?
Yeah, it depends. There are certain times where I think they're worth watching. I think it's a case-by-case basis. People who would say that it's not worth watching, I think, are people who just don't understand football. Like, there's times where you want to see development in certain players. So, like, I'll use the Commanders since they're the regional team. Like, I want to see how the defense looks, even the base defense, right? I want to see if guys are flying around the ball. I want to see certain people on the defense. I want to see if they're going to, make some plays. And then offensively, we've talked on and on and on about the receivers. So, yeah, let me see if Luke McCaffrey gets a couple reps, if Antonio Williams looks as good as he does in training camp, things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, like my veterans, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, Will Anderson, I can name them on and on and on. I don't need to see them in preseason.
I know football, and I do not think preseason's worth watching. I think training camp gives you so much more information. I think the joint practices that you've got going on right now, like the Commanders and Dolphins the other day, I think that's more worthwhile. Preseason games, I don't really care about what's happening with the 60th man on a roster. That's just how I look at it. I don't think preseason games are really worth watching because you just don't get too much out of it. Like Deshaun Watson and Tua, they are doing so much more to help their starting quarterback case, even if I don't even know if Deshaun Watson should have a starting quarterback case, regardless of what he's done off the field, allegedly or not allegedly, that whole situation. He's also tore his Achilles twice in back-to-back years. We haven't seen this man play in 2 years. And the last time we saw Deshaun Watson play in a Cleveland Browns uniform, what was he? The worst quarterback like in the history of the modern era. So should Watson even be in the quarterback competition? You're paying him so much money, you probably need to make him. But I mean, you'd be better off starting Shador or Dylan Gabriel. But I just don't see Watson or Tua in this start doing anything more than what they're doing in training camp to kind of set their name up to be the QB1 in week 1 of the regular season. I watch preseason games. Sometimes if it's on, I'll throw it on. But once you get past like the third drive, a lot of the guys playing, I just don't see are needle movers all that much.
Well, you would want to see somebody like Deshaun Watson play just from a coaching standpoint, and even as a fan, like to see if he's sharp or if there's any like legitimate rust. There's been times where I've seen guys where you could tell even in preseason, like it's a wrap for this person. And if you're a Browns fan, I think you would want some closure to this situation. And you don't want to wait till week 1 to see Deshaun Watson be absolutely awful. You'd rather just get that out the way right now. So it's for evaluation purposes. It's not for fans. Fans don't really evaluate. And that's what preseason's for, evaluation, basically.
I mean, yeah, it is. It 100% it's for evaluation. That's exactly. But you're also doing all the evaluating in training camp. And in training camp, Deshaun Watson has been throwing some of the worst passes. He has thrown 9 picks in 12 practices. He has just looked exactly like you'd expect him to look, not very good. So I just don't know how much evaluation can come out of a preseason, especially when probably a lot of the guys Tua will be playing with, Deshaun Watson will be playing with. They won't necessarily be the week 1 starters because Drake London's not going to start in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts might get 1 drive. Your offensive line is going to be completely different. I just think it's so tough to get a good gauge on these people in the preseason in terms of the guys that you expect to be starters in week 1 because they're just not playing alongside the people that they need to be playing along with. They're playing with guys who are battling for a roster spot. Now, from that perspective, preseason games are really interesting because you are getting a ton of effort from guys really low on the roster that are just fighting to try and make their spot. But just condense that up, throw it on Hard Knocks for me, and I will enjoy watching every single episode of the Hard Knocks. So that's why I watch it.
Blending Falcons and Browns, so I was a little confused there. But when we talk about, like the difference between practice, training camp, and then game situations, like I know it sounds cliche, but you truly cannot go into a training camp, even the scrimmages that they do, the joint practices, nothing takes place of like game time situations. And I think for Deshaun Watson, somebody coming off an injury like that, the biggest thing for him is to make sure his clock is there. And they're not even going full speed a lot of times in these practices and stuff. So you wouldn't even be able to get a good gauge of that. For like Tua, you worry about his health in general. You want to limit his reps as much as possible. But there's some guys on the Falcons like Branch, I think that they got from Georgia. Like if you're a fan and if you're an evaluator, you want to see him get reps in a real simulation of a game because he has looked so good in training camp.
I just subscribe to the notion of like so many of the headlines that come out of training camp and out of these preseason games really don't mean anything. Jamar Chase, when he was a rookie, couldn't catch the ball because there weren't stripes on the football. Do you remember that? Like, and what has he turned into? The greatest wide receiver in the NFL.
And so they didn't know that until they threw him in the preseason game.
More so, we didn't know that until he was thrown into a regular season
Actually,
game.
They don't even play preseason in Cincinnati. They don't start playing until week 5.
It's funny how we're making a lot out of these preseason quote-unquote QB1 openers and everything. And Stefanski was exactly right. He's like, this is all semantics. It's just someone has to begin a game at this point. And I think that's where they're at with Atlanta. And I think that's where they're at with Cleveland. I would be shocked if Deshaun Watson takes the week 1 starting snaps up there with the Browns. There's no point in it. Sure, he's eating up a lot of money, but I mean, he's not good at all. And I feel comfortable saying that without seeing any preseason snaps. Speaking of preseason, we have been getting a ton of preseason top 25s over in the college football world. One that I noticed yesterday was the CBS Sports' college football one. They actually ranked every single team 1 through 138 in the FBS. And a very, very common thing happened with this CBS Sports preseason top 25. It's something that's happening with almost every single, not almost, it is happening with every single national poll that has been coming out from a preseason perspective. And it's that no G6 teams are included in the top 25. To take it a step further, with the CBS Sports college football one that they're doing, they only have one G6 team ranked in the top 65.
Oh,
it's Boise State.
I was going to say, it's got to be Boise. Boise's like the generic one. You just throw them in there.
You just put them somewhere.
Yeah,
but
brain recognition.
2 G6 teams made the college football playoff last year. Now, you can throw maybe an asterisk next to it. I get it, whatever. You might want to, whatever. If you're a P4 fan, well, actually, that's because blah, blah, blah. Sure, whatever. I don't want to hear it. 2 G6 teams made the college football playoff. Full stop, period, at the end of that sentence, you know? There should be more than 0 in the preseason top 25s because 2 teams in the college football playoff at the end of last season should tell you that there is going to be at least 1 in the top 25. And the issue I have with it, because there are always people that say, well, preseason polls, they don't mean anything. You hear coaches say that all the frickin' time. In CBS Sports' mind, Ohio State's the number 1 team in the country. They can lose 3 games and they will still be probably a top 15 team. That's just how much that these preseason polls play into it. They're like, well, they lost the 3 games, but they were number 1 coming in. Based on what? Based on nothing. Based on nothing. These preseason top 25s, man, they get underneath my skin. They They have so much impact on a season, and they are backed up by literally nothing, especially in the era of the transfer portal. Indiana 6. Just won the dang national championship.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still don't respect Indiana.
No,
it's kind of funny. I mean, Indiana and Miami both were in the national championship. Miami upgraded at quarterback and arguably still has the majority of their offense coming back.
And their defense has the best defensive coordinator arguably in the nation.
Yeah, and they're 7th. I don't get it. Like Texas Tech, we've already talked about this at length the entire summer. They don't even have a quarterback that's worth talking about.
McGuire has said that Hammond will be ready to go.
It doesn't matter if he's ready or not. He's not good.
Well, and that's what I have an issue with, right? Like they're 7th. That puts them in such an advantageous spot to lose 2 or 3 games and still be in the conversation for the college football playoff at the end of the year. Whereas a G6 team can literally go 12-0 this year, and they're going to be scratching and clawing to get into the top 20 of the top 25.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but I don't put a lot of stock into it. I remember back in the day, the BCS days, Texas would be top 3 every single year and never make it to the championship.
Yeah, you don't put a lot of stock in it. I don't put a lot of stock in it. A lot of people don't put a lot of stock in it.
I don't think the committee really pays attention to this. I really think the committee just does what they want to do based on the fact that they kicked Florida State out that year inexplicably, but what hurt Florida State didn't hurt Georgia the next year. Like they really just do whatever they want to. There's no guidelines to it anyway.
It does shape though the national discourse and everything that the committee
does do that.
Like the national discourse, which then subconsciously is then impacting the committee because they are ADs, they are people that are consuming the media. So when they hear Miami's great all season long, and then they have 2 losses and they're sitting there, well, do we put Miami in? Or do we put Notre Dame in? They've heard all year, Miami top 10 preseason, Man, Miami has been doing fantastic. Miami this, Miami that. They're then more prone to put Miami in. So, like, you're right. You don't put stock in it. I don't put stock in it. The committee says they don't put stock in it. But the way it shapes national discourse and the way it drives conversation from a talk radio perspective, from a podcast perspective, from a writing perspective, it does subconsciously influence the way we think about these teams. And at the end of the day, then influences where they get put into the college football playoff.
They just need to listen to us then.
Hey, you're not wrong. Just put all G6 teams in. It'll be a lot more fun.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right, let's get a quick break in. We'll step aside. Then we've got our 2-a-days high school football previews continue on. It's Douglas Freeman today, Patrick Henry. That's on the other side of the break.
Richmond's only local morning sports show. Fitz the Bill. Back soon. If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 106.1 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High in the air, deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park & Go.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How did you get 30, 30, bid you get 30, bid you get 20, 20, 20, bid you get 20, 20, bid you get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
106.1 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on the DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries, now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the new Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Amber and Ian, you said you put ketchup on a hot dog. I'm putting hot mustard on it. That's it.
Kilroy is calling us from Alabama.
You're just run-of-the-mill ballpark hot dog. Fire up one at one of your little gas station spots on the way to work. You put ketchup on it. Mustard is the part that's optional. And sauerkraut, we fought 2 world wars not to have that stuff on our hot dog.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is Freddie and Harry.
I can't wait to see this wide receiver group with Cooper Kupp, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and a full offseason and a full year starting out for Rashid Shaheed. So I'm going with Seattle as the second best team in the NFL right now, which is so unique about the NFC West, because you can sit up here and make a gripe that the top 10 teams in the NFL, 3 of those are in the NFC West.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry, weekdays at 5 Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
1061 ESPN traffic.
An accident has 2 right lanes closed off heading south on 95 at the Lombardi Street overpass, causing heavy traffic from Bryant Park Interchange. Taking a look at 64 westbound, expect delays between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95, as well as heading eastbound between Stables Mill Road and Bryant Park Interchange. And there's been a wreck on Darbytown Road near Turner.
Richmond's morning sports conversation continues. Fitz the Bill. Back now on 1061 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Thursday morning. Joining us at 9 a.m., we've got Jason Toy, MRN pit reporter, to talk a little bit about the Richmond race. And then following that, it's Sidetracked episode 4, 30 minutes of our hour-long conversation with Alan Tebow from Ashton Creek Vineyard. Before we do any of that, it's our two-a-days high school football previews over there at 804 High School Football Media Days. Last week, we caught up with Freeman, with Patrick Henry, among the 32 other schools that we caught up with. Freeman last year went 6-5, lost in the first round of the playoffs to William Fleming. They get a good couple of guys returning, and they have that experience they're looking to use in the 2026-27 season.
High school football.
Patrick Henry on the other side went 3-7 last year. It was their first ever time at 804 Media Day. It's only year 2 of 804 High School Football Media Day. They weren't there last year, but they joined this year. They brought Edward Gonzalez and Cole Wakefield, along with head coach Ken Wakefield. We'll get that right on in, as here's our conversations with
804 High School Football Media Day, continuing. ESPN Richmond Fitz the Bill. Turn our attention to Patrick Henry, as we are joined now Ken Wakefield, as well as Edward Gonzalez, wide receiver safety, Cole Wakefield, quarterback. Coach Ken Wakefield, though. Coach, how's 804 High School Football Media Day been treating you?
So far, so good. This is our first time here, so it's an awesome experience for not only for our program to get representation, but for our kids to experience this. I think it's great.
And it makes the season feel like it is actually nearly here, less than a month away from kickoff. How are preparations coming?
Really good. We have a great group of guys. I think we focused a lot in the offseason in regards to doing little things and being a great teammate and the team culture and things like that. I think this group of guys they're really fun to work with. So it makes each day very enjoyable.
You brought 2 guys here along with you, Edward Gonzalez, Cole Wakefield. Talk a little bit about each one of them and why you decided to bring them here to 804 High School Football Media Day.
This was a pretty easy decision for me. Both these guys were 2-year captains. They both do things the right way in regards to what you want your players to represent the program. They just do it the right way. Both these guys, 2-year, obviously, like I said, 2-year starters. And both of them just carry a really good amount of leadership, and I'm excited for them, both seniors. So,
with them being seniors, kind of the entire senior class, this team as a whole, expectations for 2026?
Each week to go out there and to put the best performance that we possibly can, put our best foot forward. I know each week brings its own challenges. We have a tough schedule. opening up with Bethel. So the focus is on them ultimately first. But it's all the work that we've done through up to this point that will, make us be successful throughout the year.
Awesome. Our attention over to Cole Wakefield, cornerback, linebacker for Patrick Henry. How do those two positions kind of help the other?
When you're kind of the leader on both sides, you got to know pretty much what everybody's doing. Like as a quarterback, I got to know what the offense is doing, everything that's going on. And with linebacker, you just got to know the same thing, pretty much. Yeah.
What do you expect out of yourself this upcoming season as a 2-year starter, 2-year captain, I believe Coach said, being the quarterback? Expectations for yourself?
They're very high. I mean, I've put in just a ton of work with everybody. I mean, it's really high.
Edward, being the wide receiver, how's that chemistry been? How did you guys go about building that chemistry? What are the expectations for you guys this upcoming season?
Well, I think it's been great. From Saturday practices in the off season where I'm just getting in work with him and the other receivers. I think that's been huge. I've known this guy since 7th grade. I mean, we've been throwing and catching together, and so I think just growing up with him and playing on the same football team, it's been huge. And he knows me. He knows how I run, what my routes are going to look like. He knows he can trust me to be in the spot where he's going to put the ball and that I'm going to get there and make that catch. And I think that being able to build that trust has been huge. And I'm excited. I got great expectations for us just going into the season.
Going into the season for you, being a 2-year starter, how have you seen your game develop, and how do you think it's going to develop going into this year?
I think that 2-year starter opportunity has been huge for me. I mean, last year, just gaining that confidence and playing fast, it's been a huge opportunity for me to just get better day in, day out, game by game. And I think going into the season, I think I'm just going to be able to play faster. I know where I need to be. I mean, I know where everybody is. I think it's given me the opportunity to learn both sides of the ball really well. Playing that wide receiver spot, I mean, and knowing where the other receivers are in those positions, it makes me able to put myself in a position where I'm able to get the ball.
Awesome. And Coach, here, last question for you guys. What is the identity of this Patrick Henry squad going to be in 2026?
I would say brotherhood, to be honest with you. I think this is a really tight-knit group. We talked about that this morning. There aren't any necessarily cliques on the team. It's a really tight-knit group. We just came out of a camp. This is our second day of practice. We had a great team camp the week prior. So we did a lot of team building stuff and things like that. And I just think that's going to be things that are going to carry us going forward. Knowing whether it's ups and downs throughout the year, that that guy right next to you is going to give his best effort. For the team. So
awesome. Good luck this season, guys. Really appreciate your time. 804 High School Football Media Days. We turn our attention to Freeman here on ESPN Richmond. Fitz the Bill. We've got Coach Kevin Simons, Jack Armstrong, linebacker, Hudson Reppert, offensive lineman, tackle, for Freeman joining us here. Coach, want to start with you. How's 804 High School Football Media Day treating you?
It's always good. It's great when you get to this time of year and it's high school football time. It's the long haul, about 3 to 4 months, and it's always the excitement of the start of the season, and you just look forward to seeing what kind of pieces fall into place and who is able to stay healthy and who is able to execute and get to the end of the season.
How preparations coming for that first game of the season?
Well, preparations started back in November, 15th, 16th, when we lost in our playoff game against William Fleming. We had a lot of guys that really committed to the weight room and really started pushing each other, holding each other accountable, and then, kind of building on our motto for this year, which is all in, all out, really digging into the grind that happens in the off season. And it's kind of led us to this point where we've been together now for a couple months, and a lot of these guys are excited to get the season started.
When you guys lost to William Fleming, how quickly did you flip that page, and what are some of the things that you guys identified that you really needed to work on this offseason?
Well, I think these guys can attest to it is we were actually very excited about the youth of our program because we had a JV team that went 10-0, but regardless, that really doesn't play into your varsity season. It's a little bit of a different game. But what it did do is it built a lot of confidence and a lot of winning attitude and winning mindset with some of our guys. We have quite a few teams. I don't know. I'd say probably half of our football team is our lacrosse team as well, and our lacrosse team has consistently been in the state playoffs for the Virginia 5C region, and then in the Virginia 5 level playoffs. And so we've got a winning mindset and a mindset of hard work and playing together. And so these guys that are seniors and then our current junior class, which from last year, it bodes well for us. Again, potential's there. It's just now, can you execute and can you stay healthy?
When we talk about this Freeman squad, what's the identity of it going to be?
I mean, hopefully it's a run the ball, set the tempo, stop the run on defense, be flawless on special teams, and make sure that you don't leave any stone unturned from us as coaches, but as players holding each other accountable, but also always having each other's back.
We have Jack Armstrong, linebacker for Freeman this upcoming season. How's the defense been so far through the offseason, through practices and all that?
I feel like we're looking pretty good this year. And we're returning a good amount of people this year. Mostly our entire linebacker corps has played last year, started last year. Our secondary is looking good. It's all new. And our D-line's pretty much the same as last year. And we're just ready to fire around.
How important is that, having an entire linebacking corps come back together, especially when you said the DB is kind of all new behind you? How important is it to kind of have that linebacker section set?
Well, it's really good. We've all worked together as teammates. We've all played with previous people before. We know how to adapt and all that, and we can better help our secondary and coach them up and help them feel comfortable.
I love it. Hudson, offensive lineman, play some tackle. How are the trenches coming on the offensive side?
They're doing really well. We have a few returners and a few new guys who are just stepping into roles that I and as the coaches know that they can fulfill. And our backfield's working really well too. We have a junior quarterback who played on JV, and hopefully that translates. He's looking really solid through the first few days of practice. And our running backs are just really strong, as well as our wide receivers. So it's looking good.
What's your role in kind of mentoring the younger guys or the newer guys on the offensive line?
I think it's just a lot of bringing the energy and just setting by example. Just like showing how to do certain things and teaching them about the plays and kind of just that consistency that we need to have if we want to make it far into the off season.
Awesome. I love it, guys. Really appreciate your time. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Lose weight, destroy cravings, late day binges, stress eating, no hunger, no willpower, only $59.99 or your money back. In town August 17th, sign up at alexgoen.com, GOEN. That's alexgoen.com.
Hey mom, now that I have an after school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Progressive knows when it's 3 a.m. and you can't sleep. Your mind starts racing, asking the big questions.
Why doesn't glue stick to the inside of the bottle? How come you never see baby pigeons?
Am I breathing weird right now, or have I always breathed like this?
Progressive can't help with those questions. But if the question keeping you up at night is about your insurance, rest assured, we're here online when you need us. 24/7, 365.
But seriously, where are all the baby pigeons?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optimal Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optimal Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Rich Eisen Show.
So who's ruining baseball? Is it the Dodgers? Because they're seeing this and they're highly capitalized to take advantage of it? You can't blame the Dodgers for this one. It cost them $9 million and 3 prospects. That's it. They're also spending all this money, $1 billion in the future and $500 million now almost. And they're like, we'll take Scooble, $400 million. Let's start talking. How much you want to defer?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
1061 ESPN weather.
We have another hot and humid August day ahead of us with partly sunny skies this morning and some afternoon thunderstorms rolling through. Highs will be reaching 92 degrees with lows tonight dropping back down to 72.
Voices, local takes, Richmond's only local morning sports talk show. Fitz the Bill. Back on 1061 ESPN Richmond. News or snooze?
News or snooze this morning with a mixed bag. Obviously, starting with the biggest news of yesterday. Russell Westbrook retires after 18 NBA seasons.
Snooze-worthy.
No way.
I'm kidding.
I'm a Russell Westbrook hater, but no, I wouldn't.
Are
I
you
wouldn't.
really?
Oh, yeah. I can't stand Russell
Really?
Westbrook. Yeah. It dates back to
why?
Because my homeboy likes him so much.
Oh man.
So I'm obligated
he
to
must
hate him.
really like him.
No, he is. Yeah, if he's had 18 seasons, I'm pretty sure we've argued at least 19 seasons on my hatred for Russell Westbrook.
That's
but
insane.
It stems from him being such a high volume, high usage point guard.
He's terrible in today's game.
Massively inefficient.
Yeah, I mean, he is. If he played in the in the 90s or the 80s when like that style of basketball worked, he would have been a GOAT. But he played in like this era where like he also is not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's an attack the basket, high volume, mid range shooter.
But it never stopped him from shooting when he was at his peak.
No,
yeah,
100%.
There were so many times during that OKC run where I was just like, why are you not passing the ball to Durant? Why are you not giving the ball to somebody else?
He needed like a Phil Jackson, a Pat Riley at some point, like early on in his career to be like, Russell, I get that you're great. You need to like learn how to play within an offense. You are not the offense. But he never did. He had some offers, namely from the Kings and the Wizards to come back, but he chose to walk away on his own terms.
Well, not the Wizards. I would have played for them, but the Kings, I don't blame you.
I probably would have been like the 8th man on the Wizards.
I don't care. I would have been 8th man to play with that team.
So that's the question, though, that all comes down to. How is Russ going to be remembered? How do you think we're going to look back on the Russell Westbrook career a decade from now, and how do you think we remember him?
I think he personified the era that he was in the sense of you got your point guards that are like they're I wouldn't call them, they're ball dominant.
Ball dominant. And
ball
like
dominant. That's what I would say. Ball
dominant
yeah.
scoring point guards.
I look at it as like Luka, ball dominant. Harden, up until the last couple years, but at his peak, ball dominant. Westbrook, ball dominant, and Westbrook's the poster child for those ball dominant guys. Because,
high usage point
because
guards.
he started the massive triple double. Like he was probably triple double West before Harden was triple double Harden. You know, like I also think we'll also look back on it as what we always do, and that's the Thunder had Durant, Harden, and KD,
and they traded
Durant,
away
Westbrook, and Harden, and then they added Ibaka. They had a squad, and they still couldn't win a championship. I think he'll be remembered for that.
3-1 up on the Warriors, and then KD kind of shot them in the foot and ran away.
I'll also throw him a bone too, and I'll remember him for never being a sucker. Like Kevin Durant, I'm sorry, he's a sucker for what he did.
Yeah.
Joining the Warriors after losing 3-1 is a sucker move.
Westbrook would have retired an OKC Thunder player if he hadn't been traded.
Yeah, and he would have rather died than switch to the team that beat him.
He was a legit, and he also was a baller in the fact of if he was good enough to be on the court, he wanted to play every single minute of every single game. I'll respect that from him.
And he's a competitor in an era where we constantly complain that guys are too friendly and they don't compete. Like, he always compete. You always got 100% out of Russell Westbrook.
You could argue may have been the undoing in Los Angeles with the Lakers, because like LeBron famously over these last couple of seasons has been one to maybe sit back, be a little friendly.
Russ would have never
play when he wanted to play, and Russ was probably in the locker room like, "Hey yo,
I'll never forget.
Let's play."
2020, the COVID years, and them playing down in the Mickey
bubble.
Mouse, Mickey Mouse bubble, and he's yelling at people in the crowd. There's clearly no crowd. It's literally families and their kids, like babies, literally babies. And he's like going off like, yeah, talk your stuff now. And it's like, bro, they can't talk. They're babies.
I love Russell. I do love that. He also was on the 75th anniversary team, won the MVP in 2017. He's the all-time triple-double leader with 209. He's one of only 2 players ever with 25,000 points, 10,000 assists. The other is LeBron. He's the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double for a full season. Did it 4 different times. He's a top 15 all-time scorer, top 5 all-time in assist, 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-NBA. He's got a really good resume.
He's a stat stuffer.
I did not realize his resume was that stacked until this morning when I was going through his resume. I always knew, of course, Russell Westbrook, triple-double machine, was really, really good. But you kind of forget that he's been around for 18 years now and that he has been a stat stuffer for 12 of those 18 years. Like, he took over OKC and it was his team and he just dominated the league. He took over when KD got hurt that one season in OKC. Russell Westbrook I think when we look back 10 years from now, we're going to remember Russell Westbrook is just a dog. Yeah. Like, that's how we're going to remember.
I won't disrespect him in a manner where I'm serious. It'll always be in jest.
He never won a championship though.
I don't recall him winning a championship, even when he was hanging around some of these teams and floating around. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. So that's another way we'll look back.
Unless
at him.
he was on that Nuggets team that won a championship, but I don't think he was.
I don't think he was. So that's another way we'll look back on him. He'll be on some studio crew 15 years from now.
I don't think he will.
And I think he will be. Or he'll have his own podcast.
Oh, he probably definitely will have a podcast or something. They'll probably catch him like hanging out at a game or something, and somebody put a mic in front of him and he'll give him.
He'll drop the F-bomb and everyone will be like, whoa, Russ, whoa.
He's always been not shy about, what he says. And crazy enough, I can't believe he played with Kevin Love at UCLA. Yeah. It just doesn't seem like they would fit, but they did.
They did.
Yeah. Daniels miffed over LSU giving Pickett his number 5.
Newsworthy.
I'm so glad you put this in here.
I woke up to this story.
I did too.
And this is maybe one of the weirdest stories in college football right now. Yes, it is.
No, it's not weird at all.
Okay, do you think you explain let me say real quick what's happening, right? So Jaden Daniels, his camp sent a cease and desist letter to LSU saying no longer can they use his name, image, and likeness after DJ Pickett was given his old number 5. The argument is that in Daniels' NIL deal, no one's ever allowed to wear number 5 again. So essentially wrote it in that they would retire his jersey. Kelly said he wasn't prepared to issue Pickett the number until they got full commitment from another Heisman winner saying we didn't want to issue number 9, so you can't treat one differently from the other, referencing Joe Burrow's unworn number 9. So there's a little bit of a double standard there. But it's an interesting situation. Jaden Daniels is upset that LSU gave a freshman his number. What's your thoughts on it? Because you see, I can't tell based off of your reaction right now. I think this is dumb from Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So
I think this is childish from Jaden Daniels.
Take me out of the whole Commanders sphere. I'm not a Commanders fan.
Neither am I.
I'm not gotta say everything positive about the Commanders.
This is a terrible look for Jaden Daniels.
This is me as a college football fan.
Yeah.
Brother,
he didn't do enough.
You're not Joe Burrow to LSU, and to think that you would be there for 2 years and not win a championship and have this kind of thing about you where it's like you can't give my number to anybody else is kind of crazy to me, man. This is wild. Now, if it's in his NIL deal, then that's fine. If they have some kind of language,
the language said that ended after 180 days.
Okay,
he left.
then
so essentially the next season that number could not be.
Then this is silly, and it's for him it's a legacy killer in the sense of I saw this clip with Michael Irvin, and it made complete sense. He was talking about how he didn't want his number retired. And the reason why he didn't want his number retired is because when anything happens, they just give you your flowers at the very end. Oh, man, Michael Irvin had a great career. Back to the game. He was like, but now everybody's wearing 88. 88's been passed on from years and years and years.
Yes.
And so every time somebody sees CD Lamb drop a pass, they'll say, dang, Michael would have caught that. Every time they see CD Lamb make a catch, they think of Michael Irvin. I never thought about it from that perspective, but that makes complete sense. And for Jaden Daniels, the best time of his collegiate career is LSU. Why would you want to erase that? Because we're going to think about Arizona State now, because that's how we are. We're just going to go with the images. And if LSU can't use your image, we're going to instantly start seeing more Arizona State stuff. And that was not a time I think you want to be remembered for.
And the Irvin point is amazing. I love what Penn State does with what number is it that they use?
11.
11. That's awesome.
Yes, it's a legacy thing.
Make five the QB number.
LSU has that for I think number 12.
Yes,
it's based on the national championship quarterback with Nick Saban. It's like given to like one of their like quality players, basically is what I would call it. He's just an all around good football player and a good person in the community. So they get to wear 12. I think Nussmeier got to wear 12.
Yep.
Like that's like a number that they have passed on. He could have had 5 go to like the Heisman candidate or something like that.
Like something.
So he missed a golden opportunity to like make his thing even bigger. It's not like Cam Newton telling old boy you can't wear number 1. That's different.
I still don't agree with a former player telling a college, but that's besides the point. LSU, the guy who's wearing number 5 now, Pickett, he's actually a sophomore. I mistakenly said he's a freshman. He was recruited to the school in 2024 under Brian Kelly. Former LSU coach Brian Kelly told ESPN that Pickett had been promised that he could wear the number 5, but Brian Kelly said he didn't issue it to him because Daniels didn't approve. Now Brian Kelly's been fired, and Lane Kiffin's like, I don't care. Here you go.
Lane don't care.
And it's rare that I agree with Lane Kiffin, but like, I think this is a little bit of a childish move.
Yeah, and the Cam Newton reference too, he did tell the young man, like, you don't want those expectations that come with that number. Make your own number. So I get that, but
I think this is something, if you are so adamant about it, you handle this behind the scenes. You talk to maybe the kid, whatever. But I think it's childish. I think you preventing them from using your name, image, and likeness when it comes to promoting yourself and LSU. I think that's a mistake.
So many greats at LSU, man, and you're not better than any of them, and they don't act like this.
You also, like, Joe Burrow won a national championship.
Joe Burrow had one of the greatest single seasons of a collegiate quarterback ever.
Jaden won the Heisman. Jaden was fantastic at LSU, but he does not hold a candle to what Joe Burrow means.
15-0 in the national championship, and like, just slaughtered a Clemson team.
Yes,
that was really good.
I agree. So this one was a little childish.
Man, I had to disagree respectfully with this.
Also, focus on what you could. This is going to sound so coach speak. Focus on what you can control. Control the controllables. You just came off of an injury-riddled season where it was a complete disappointment in your sophomore campaign. I'm going to need you to just be solely focused on what you're doing your junior campaign.
I wouldn't even doubt that. Like maybe
it's his team,
a
and
tenth
not
of
him.
that came from him.
Yeah, it's his team, and which again. Now that his team is creating headaches for him that he's going to have to answer questions for, like, don't like this.
Yeah,
not a fan.
Got a DJ fired yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
That
was great.
I don't think he did.
That DJ was crazy, though. You see the video of Stephon Diggs walking into camp?
No.
So it was all from the same day. It was playing a very explicit song. And it was bleeping out the curse words, but it was one of those songs that, like, every other word was a bad word. And so all you heard was, I don't even want to sing the song because you could fill in the blank. And then Jaden later on was like, hey, yo, we got to get this DJ out of here.
I saw the clip where he was saying, yo, he got to go. But I thought it was just because they were warming up and they were trying to focus. But either way, hilarious nonetheless. Ben Johnson's bowl goal. Bears set NFL scoring record.
Snooze.
He's done a really good job. I mean, he came out of the gate hot there. Those first 4 practices I thought were really, really good. And then as the volume has continued to go up, and it's my fault as much as anything, just because I think I've put in more this year on offense than I did a year ago by design. I want it to feel like a lot right now, that there's been a level of plateau up to this point. Now that things will slow down from an installation point, I think we're going to see him continue to go on the upswing.
So that's a bold goal.
No, it's impossible.
And then you just heard from Ben Johnson talking about Caleb Williams. He's installed a lot more. They're doing a lot more offensively this year, and Caleb has started to plateau. If the Bears want to be the highest scoring offense in the history of the NFL, it's all going to hinge on the continued development of Caleb Williams. And based off of what Ben Johnson just said at the podium, I'm not fully bought in that, Caleb Williams can lead them to scoring 1 million points this year. In the article with The Athletic, he said he wants to be the highest scoring offense ever, and that happens to be 2013 Denver Broncos. That means he has to beat their 37.9 points per game. He said that everyone wants to win the Super Bowl. He wants to do that and set his sights even higher. He's also chasing the NFL's 21-game win streak record and an undefeated season. This man needs to shut up. That is crazy. Also worth noting, none of the 4 teams that ever hit 35 points or more per game for a season won the Super Bowl that year. So be careful what you wish for, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but they're known in history as being high scoring. So
cool. You know what I'd rather be known in history for? Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
I know your love for Ben Johnson.
Yes, my favorite person of all the coaches.
He just be talking, man.
He's a wild dude.
He's crazy.
Also, let's just get 4,000 yards passing for a Bears quarterback.
I just saw the stat.
Yeah,
Caleb came short last year, 3,942 passing.
He was close, man. Because
Bears have never had a 4,000 yard
in their franchise, and I'm pretty sure they
are an OG franchise.
Yeah, they're like one of the founding franchises. They've never had it.
You know how bad your quarterback history is when your premier marquee quarterbacks are McMahon and Grossman. You ever think about that?
Yeah, Jay Cutler.
I guess.
No, Jay Cutler's the only one that got pretty close.
But Grossman got them to a Super Bowl, and McMahon won them a Super Bowl. Granted, the Monsters did. The Monsters.
Yeah, well, that entire team in the 80s was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was so
But
good.
man, I just think, putting that kind of
you're putting a target on your back.
Well, you're just setting the bar just a smidge too high with a quarterback that I'm not sure quite wants to live up to expectations. He's a little emotional, man. So I wouldn't put too much on his plate because he might kind of unravel there, which is not something I would have thought would have been in his scouting report. But based on how he acted at USC and how he acted his rookie season, I wouldn't put too much on him.
It's also insane to me that you say this out loud. This is an inside thought. This is an inside the building. We're talking this amongst ourselves. Man, a really good number we're looking for is to score 38 points per game. If we do that, guys, we can do whatever we want. We can win the Super Bowl. We can go down as one of the greatest teams of all time. This is our internal goal. Let's use this as fire. Let's use this as motivation. And Ben Johnson's like, you know what if I told every single defense out there that we want to be great, and then actually at the same time, our quarterback is kind of plateaued when it comes to learning this new offense, as I've put more and more on his plate, more than I ever did a season ago. I don't know,
what
man.
What more could you do, Ben?
Honest, go for 4th down every single time instead of 6 times in the Packers loss.
What more could you possibly add in there? Come on, man.
Hey, don't tempt him with a good time. It's funny. I saw a clip from there was a quote from Mike McDonald during the Hard Knocks show on HBO, where essentially he was like, if I'm not home by 9 p.m., something has gone drastically wrong and I'm doing my job wrong. Similar to like the Bruce Arians way of thinking about coaching, where it's like, this isn't more important than you seeing your family, going to your daughter's recital, all of that stuff. And then on the flip side, the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears was like, yeah, one day I came into the office and Ben Johnson, he was working out, but he had crazy hair. And I was like, did you sleep here last night? He was like, yeah, I had to get our game plan done. Or like I was watching film and I just lost track of time. And that was in June.
I'm not going to lie, man. I've watched stuff and done research and lost track of time too before, but I didn't do it in my office.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just saying one of those coaches won a Super Bowl and he seems to have a healthier, I'm not going to say healthy.
You got to find balance, man.
Yeah.
It's not that. I always look at it like this. There's 24 hours in my day. I typically sleep 4 to 5 hours on a normal day anyway.
Healthy. We need to get that
I know
fixed.
It's not healthy, but either way, I have plenty of time to get things done. Seeing family, betting horses, watching film, whatever else I need to get done. There's no excuse for me not to be able to get that done in the 24 hours I'm given every day.
All right. Yeah, we need to get your sleeping schedule fixed. All right, let's get a quick break and step aside. And a little NBA news to wrap up this first hour. That's coming up next.
You're with Fitz The Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond this morning. Short break.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like public works supervisor.
Hey, this waterman is under a ton of pressure. Did you ever fix it?
Yeah, 3 layers of duct tape. Wait, should I have added a 4th layer?
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
I'm on the field and feeling the pressure. I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Join us on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond for the Bottom Line Sports Talk radio show with me, Steve the Truth, featuring Harry Clary and the entertainer that is Rick Morris. Sports Talk at its best.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here as we wrap up hour number 1. Coming up in about 6 minutes, Jason Toy, an MRN pit reporter, will be joining us to talk a little bit about the Richmond race. Tomorrow, we'll be coming to you live from the Richmond Raceway in the Media Center or somewhere, wherever they set us up. We'll be talking to you live. We'll have special guests dropping in throughout tomorrow's show. Plus, Pat Jaggers. He's coming up for the race. And I said, Pat, why don't you come one day early and you can guest host the show with me? And he was like, you know what? That sounds phenomenal. So Pat Jaggers will be guest hosting the show tomorrow. Yesterday, we had a bit of a shock come through in the NBA world as the Los Angeles Lakers were sold to Bob Iger and Josh Kushner for $12.5 billion. And that left me questioning why. Bob Iger and Josh Kushner were reportedly involved in the expansion team in Vegas. And then all of a sudden they did a complete 180 and just bought the Lakers for $12.5 billion. Ramona Shelburne yesterday, she was doing all the hits, First Take, Sports Center, everything in between. And she broke down how this came to be on First Take yesterday morning.
Josh Kushner and Bob Iger were involved in the expansion process in Las Vegas. They had a bid group together. The bidding in Las Vegas was getting extremely high. At some point, they looked around and said, why are we bidding on an expansion team? Before we do this, let's call and see if the Lakers are available. So they called Mark Walter. I'm told this was on Sunday, and said, hey, before we go forward with the Las Vegas deal, are the Lakers available? Could we make you an offer for the Lakers? And Mark Walter wasn't interested in selling, but the number they discussed, $12.5 billion, was something that he had to think about. And he had, I think, 1 or 2 days to think about it before this started moving forward, before they had to move forward with the expansion process. But, Mark Walter purchased the Lakers just last year. That went through in 2025. It was approved by the Board of Governors at $10 billion. So from October of last year to right now, he just made $2.5 billion on the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's a pretty good investment, if you ask me.
I mean,
for what?
I don't want to sell, sir. It's $12.5 billion.
Hey, where do I sign? Yeah, I can do a lot for $12.5 billion.
You sure it's not 2.5? And you just added the one? No, it's 12.5. Okay. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can get this done as soon as possible, actually.
Yeah, you just fax me it over so we don't own it. I'll buy it.
$2.5 billion
in
profit
10 months.
in 10 months.
That's pretty nice.
I'm sorry. When I saw 12.5, I instantly thought to myself, did they forget LeBron's not on the team anymore?
Right.
I feel like they overpaid a lot.
I think they did. It is interesting. Walter, who built his financial empire in the insurance industry, is currently under federal investigation for alleged tax fraud by other companies tied to the billionaire.
Yeah, they hating on him.
Hey, it's interesting. I'm just saying there's some interesting little chords happening all around this. Walter also owns stakes in the Sparks, the Dodgers, Chelsea, the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. He also owns a F1 team. But he's not selling any of those, just the Lakers for $12.5 billion. The Lakers have now changed hands 3 times in less than a year. insane for one of the legacy franchises in basketball. Jason Toy joining us, top of hour 2.
This is advertising material.
Businesses have a responsibility to keep you safe. Patch the pothole, fix the broken step, light the parking lot, mop the floor, and put up a sign. When they skip those basics and someone gets hurt, that's negligence. If you slipped, tripped, or fell on someone else's property, Alexander Shinard Trial Attorneys want to hear from you. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law for your free case evaluation. alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George is licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office located in Norfolk.
Alex Cohen patented hypnosis. Stop smoking. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. Walk in a smoker, walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. In town August 17th. Sign up at alexcohen.com. GOEN. That's alexcohen.com.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and in '09 it was me, your fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when one of my embers landed on dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your morning started with us on this Thursday morning, the day before the truck race at Richmond Raceway. Saturday, the race at Richmond will be coming to you live from the track tomorrow morning. This morning, to kick off hour number 2, we're joined, Jason Toy, MRN pit reporter, on this wonderful Thursday. Good morning, Jason. How we doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. I got to start with the hardest hitting question. Where does Richmond rank for you among favorite tracks to go to?
It is one of my top 3.
Really?
I'm a short track guy. I love it. IRP is probably my favorite one, followed by Bristol, Martinsville. Bristol, you guys, Martinsville. So,
all right, getting the good graces early. What is it about short tracks that has you leaning towards them over other track styles?
Because it's where we kind of all grew up on. I grew up dirt racing with my dad in Florida, and so it's always short tracks, and I always loved it. One of my favorite deals to watch as a kid and listen to with MRN, with Eli and with Barney Hall and the legends on it, was watching that race on the old fairgrounds, the old fairground looking track there at Richmond with those old guardrail walls and Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip and everybody. That was a fun track for me to watch, and I just loved the short track racing aspect on everything else. And you go back and look at it beyond the NASCAR side of things. Short tracks are what bring people together on Friday and Saturday nights across this country, which is great. You can still get back to grassroots racing, and you see it in Langley and other places as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think within like a 2-hour radius of where we are sitting right now, we've got Dominion up in the Thornburg, Fredericksburg area, Langley, we got South Boston. So you're speaking our language when it comes to short tracks. Jason Toy, MRN pit reporter, joining us on this Thursday morning. When NASCAR comes to a track like a Richmond, one of these classic tracks, these legacy tracks, what are the feelings around the garage compared to maybe some of the newer tracks on the schedule?
I mean, you have a pretty good notebook of coming in because you know what you've seen over the last handful of years, and we've seen Richmond transition over the years, and from what it used to be to what it is today, and and whenever you get a repave or anything else like that. But you have notes on this track. You know how it runs. You know that if you're Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon, this is the one you circle because you've had success at the last handful of years. So I mean, this is and add to it, you're close to home. I mean, if all goes well weather-wise, you're home on Sunday morning, going to church with the family. So it's that's why it gets circled on here. They call it the action track, and it truly is that. And it is, for the drivers, it always puts on a great show. It doesn't matter if you're running the Cup Series, the O'Reilly Series. Trucks always put on a fantastic race at this facility. Heck, I even loved it when the modifieds run there.
The modified race last year was a ton of fun. The truck race, I'm looking forward to the truck race tomorrow night. But you mentioned Austin Dillon, RCR. They've won the last two races at Richmond. I mean, the one 2 years ago generated a ton of headlines. Last year was another great performance by Austin. How have they found all this speed at this track? And it seems like really at this track only.
And with the transition of this new next-gen car, and every week you're learning something new. They hit on something early on their short track package that, some others didn't have, that others had to play catch up with. And we've seen others playing catch up now. They're there with them. So it is something they found upon, but it's also Austin. He likes that track. He ran well in the trucks there. He ran well in the O'Reilly Series there. So he's just comfortable at that facility. Now, granted, those are all totally different than what you drive with in the next gen Cup car. They don't ride like the O'Reilly car. They ride actually closer to a truck than what they do than O'Reilly. So it is definitely something that he has found the niche at that they're good at. They've got a really good notebook of things. He's probably one person that probably doesn't want that track to ever change. We talked about it at Iowa last week. They tore it up as soon as we were leaving there to repave it, and what it was going to do differently. I can guarantee you that Austin Dillon wants nothing touched at the Richmond Raceway.
Can he make it 3 in a row this year, Jason?
You know what? The momentum's on their side. They ran very, very well at Iowa last week. I mean, I think that they've got the opportunity and the confidence level going in, knowing, okay, we won the last two. We ran well at Iowa last week. We were in the top 10 for most of the entire race. I truly do. I think they have the opportunity to make things happen up there. And, is it going to get them into the playoffs now that, we're doing points and not like the win you're in deal? It's still going to be a tough task to go, but at least picking up a victory for the organization. And, after the year they've had and the loss of Kyle and everything, and just the performance hasn't been there. It has been, this will be a good opportunity for them to get something pretty positive.
Jason Toy, MRN Pit Reporter, joining us on this Thursday morning. We're a handful of years into the next-gen era. The next-gen era has been one that has been a hot-button topic when it comes to how these short tracks race. Has NASCAR started to kind of figure it out? Have you seen the racing get better year over year at Richmond, in your opinion, in this next-gen car?
I think it's getting better, yes. And I think you have the 750 horsepower package that'll be there this time as well, too. I think that will be a difference in the racing there. But this car lends to good racing on a track like this. You're not dependent on drafting or anything else like that. And, we always hear it's so hard to pass in these cars. And yeah, we see that on 1.5-mile tracks and 2-mile tracks and super speedways and whatsoever. But when we get to the short tracks, it kind of evens it out a little bit more too. So, I think they're starting to pick it up a little bit. And the thing about it with this car, and it continues to evolve in aspects, we always hear about different changes that NASCAR is making with it. This is where you have the charter system. So you don't have teams that participate on a race weekend and are dictated by things. They actually have a seat at the table when it comes to things and making adjustments to certain things, aspects of the race car as a collective group. So they will be able to, if they can get their heads together and get it fixed, they will. And, especially when we get to Daytona here, in 2 weeks, I think you might see a little bit better racing on that type of track, especially with the changes they got coming there. So it's an evolving process. My thing I still shake my head on is the fact that when they announced this car that was going to save money for the teams, well, heck, it just costs you more money in engineering than anything. So I'm sure the teams don't see the cost savings there yet.
Hey, unintended consequence. They say one thing and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait, we did not even factor in this entire thing. But hopefully we've seen when they brought the 2 different tire package a couple of years. I think that was the year 1 when Austin Dillon won in 24. Like that brought a new kind of funness. That's not even a word, but like a funness to the track. So maybe with the enhanced horsepower, we'll see.
It brought a different challenge.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Where you saw guys and I love the strategy side of it all, and you kind of saw them making the decisions on pit road. So looking forward to this year. What are some other things you're going to be looking for down there in the garage on pit road come Friday, Saturday, Jason?
I think the truck race has me intrigued because the other part I love about short track racing is you can get drivers that you normally are not eligible to run other places, because of the size of the track. So when we get to places like IRP, Bristol, Martinsville, and Richmond, you can get some newer names out there. And Tristan McKee, who's getting his start in the truck series with Spire this weekend, coming off the win Wednesday night at Berlin Raceway. They're in their big 250 lapper up there, and I think it was $40,000 they took home. The kid's a talent. I mean, he's been winning in the ARCA series. I'm really curious to see what he can do in the truck. But the big thing in the truck race is, who can beat Lane Riggs. Lane's dominance on the short tracks has just been phenomenal. Chandler Smith, his teammate's been running very, very well too. And you got some other drivers that are starting to emerge a little bit more here as we get closer to the cutoff line and the playoffs here in the next couple of weeks. But I think the truck race will be a whole lot of fun like it always is. You always get a packed field, which is great. So, you send some trucks home. I hate that for teams, but that's what you love to see. You love to see that they're getting turnout the way they are. And Elliott Sadler returns back to a truck. He's going to be driving one of the Dodges there for Colic Racing. So we'll see how he shakes out there back in his home track. But on the Cup side of things, we're going to, keep an eye a lot on, and we kind of discussed about it a little bit yesterday in our pre-production meeting about, Kyle Larson, just can't seem to get a break. Does that change here? Does the momentum continue for Austin Dillon? What about, with Ryan Blaney and Logano and those guys that have had some good runs here recently? And, they do well at a track like this too. So it's going to be a lot of different storylines to kind of keep an eye on a little bit. I live about 5 hours away from you guys over in West Virginia. And I know we've gotten hammered with rain the last couple of days and supposedly supposed to get some more tomorrow. Hopefully it stays away and everything goes smoothly.
Saturday's weather, though, I just checked it. It should be a beautiful day, one of the lowest highs of the entire week. Now, that's still like right on the cusp of 90, but shouldn't be too hot. And as the sun goes down, it'll be very nice. But Jason, here, real quick, some overall NASCAR storylines. And you mentioned Elliott Sadler. He's making the return, racing in the Truck Series. Another hometown guy, of course, Denny Hamlin. And it feels like the conversation around Denny for the last, 5-7 years or so, it's always, can he win the championship? Can he win the championship? Can he win the championship? That documentary NASCAR had on Netflix, that was the major storyline around Denny. So with such a successful season for Denny this season, is it championship or bust for him every single year from now until whenever he decides to retire?
I think yes. I think it's part of his legacy. He's obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But to have that, the go in at the Hall of Fame without a championship for the success that he's achieved, I think it's a must for him. And he's making great strides on it this year and having great dominance and what he's been doing the last couple of months here and chipping away at the possibility of getting the regular season championship. The drive that he had at Iowa with no breaks, that is the most tired I've ever seen Denny after a race. When I interviewed him post-race last week, he said it felt like a victory. He said that was the hardest he's ever driven a race car in his Cup career. So, I think so. I think he's got to get a championship, and all of us are catching up on age and time's dwindling. And, one of those, you take those aspects into it. I think it's time to get that to get it off to everybody else's mind and say, all right, he is a champion. He's won it. And that's when you can kind of walk off into the sunset a little bit if you're a Denny Hamlin.
I love it, Jason. Really appreciate your time. Enjoy Richmond these next couple of days. Have a great time down there in the pits for MRN's call. Really appreciate it.
Hey, always a great deal. I know you got a mutual friend of ours, and Pat Jaggers. You got to watch out for that guy. If when he's in town, you got to make him buy a couple of rounds for you.
Jason, I will, and we've got a nickname for Pat here around the station. We call him Dump Button Pat. Dump Button Pat.
Button Pat. Let's remember that.
Yeah, remember that. He'll be guest hosting with us tomorrow. So if you're around the media center, I'd love to say hi.
Definitely will.
Awesome, Jason. Have a great rest of your Thursday.
All right, man. See y'all.
There goes Jason Toy, MRN pit reporter. I really appreciate him taking some time out of his Thursday chat with us about the Richmond race. I am jacked up for it. He mentioned how this race is close to home, and it is close to Charlotte. Just a really quick little plane ride from Charlotte to Richmond. Funnily enough, in 23, I want to say, I went to a Charlotte FC match on the Saturday before the Sunday race. This was 23. I was still living down in Charlotte. And you know who sat in front of me at the Charlotte FC race?
Who?
Tyler Reddick.
Oh. And
I was like, you got a race tomorrow. What are we doing? And I guess he hopped on his private jet either that night or the next morning, made it to the race. I think he had a fine showing.
It's like 45 minutes.
If that.
Yeah.
If
of a flight.
Yeah. So
the drive.
It was just funny. I was like, the whole game, I'm like, I think that's Tyler Reddick sitting in front of me. And I'm like, there's no way he's at Richmond tomorrow.
I've done that. I've done that like twice.
That flight?
Yeah, the flight. Yeah. Just because it's more efficient. But I remember who was it? Was it Johnson? Somebody.
Jimmy?
Yeah, was it Jimmy Johnson? Somebody did the Indy and then flew to do the Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Kyle Larson did it 2 years in a row.
Now that's crazy.
Catherine Legge, Legge, she did it this year. She had, I think, Elf be her sponsor. She ran it. She wrecked. No one, I don't think maybe one person has ever completed. Robbie Gordon did it back in the day. Tony Stewart did it as well.
See that? I always think that's crazy.
That's tough. Yeah. But I mean, it's a noon start. You finish at around 2 or 3, and the night race in Charlotte is like a 6 or 7 p.m. green flag. So
that's tough.
I know Larson, because there was a rain delay at Indy 2 years ago, he started the race, but he had to finish. He had to leave the race like halfway through so he could make it to Charlotte in time for his real race.
So when that happens, they just throw in a substitute driver?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Because I hate to say it like this, but it's all kind of a marketing stunt, like the Indy Charlotte double. So like they don't really care about points. And like, all right, we just got to finish it. Someone get in here.
Oh man. See, that's my calling. I don't know. I could barely fit in the NASCAR car. So I know I ain't getting in there. But I would try, darn it.
Hey, what? Just suck in.
It was the leg room. It wasn't
really?
that I was too wide. It's just my legs. I was too long, man.
That's something you don't realize. A lot of the NASCAR drivers kind of short.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because when I originally got in, I was like, well, that's weird. Like my foot's already like way into the car.
I did go-karts when I was at the beach a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had forgot, like when I was a kid go-karting, you're like reaching as much as you can. It's on your tippy toes.
Yeah.
I was scrunched
You
up.
look like Koopa.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I was Koopa Troopa.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I might not fit in this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a quick break in. Step aside. Then it's time for Sidetracked episode 4. It's 30 minutes of our hour-long conversation with Alan Thibault from Ashton Creek. He's the director of wine down there at Ashton Creek in Chester, Virginia. Really, really good conversation. For radio, we took the hour-long conversation, made it 30. But if you want to listen to the entirety of Sidetracked episode 4, you can find it on YouTube at 10 a.m. today, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That drops at 10. The video podcast, of course, on YouTube, audio on Apple and Spotify. Really fantastic conversation with a winery right here in our own backyard that is pumping out some of the best wine in Virginia. And Alan, a Virginia Tech grad. So, of course, we talked about James Franklin. We talked about the Hokies, his expectations for the year, and maybe some conversation on wine and tailgating, even if those two ever met. That's coming up next, right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
You're listening to Fitz the Bill. Don't touch that dial.
This is advertising material.
When a doctor's mistake leaves you or someone you love seriously hurt, you need a fighter in your corner. Alexander Schnarr Trial Attorneys has been holding negligent doctors and hospitals accountable and getting families the justice they deserve. The consultation is free. They don't get paid until you do. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait, alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George is licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
Richmond's Morning Sports Talk. Live, local, and back on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. It's The Bill. Powered by Ironclad Coffee and Baking Company.
Sidetracked here, Fitz the Bill, 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We're joined with one of the premier wine. What's your official role? Wine maker, wine director, do it all, merch guy, a little bit of everything at Ashton Creek.
A little bit of everything. I mean, we're a family business, so it's like you're getting a little bit of everything. My official title now is director of wine. So
okay,
really, like my day to day is I manage the vineyards and oversee all the winemaking.
I love it, Alan Thibault. And I've been mispronouncing your name for so long, and I feel so bad about this. We've known each other for like over a year now.
Yeah,
and I've just been saying Thibault, and it's just. Not that.
That's fine. I've been mispronouncing my name my majority of my life. It wasn't until we got into the wine world.
We're in the wine world now. And there's a lot I want to dive into because selfishly, let me start with this. I love wine. Wine is probably one of my biggest vices. I'm spending money on nice bottles of wine. And so I just want to talk to you about the world of Virginia wine. You went to Virginia Tech, so maybe a little Hokies sports in there too. We'll find a way to squeeze it all in and make it make sense. But walk me through it because you guys are a family-run business. It's you, your wife, your mom, your dad, your dogs, a vineyard, two vineyards, one in Dinwiddie, one right down the street in Chester. And you guys are pumping out some of the best wine, dare I say, the best wine in this region.
Yeah, I mean, we started, so this fall will be our 10th anniversary of the taste room opening. We started planting grapevines almost 10 years before we actually opened to kind of get familiar with growing grapes. I went off to school at Virginia Tech, originally for engineering, but didn't love that as much as what I was doing when I came home in the summer working in the vineyard. So I switched over into viticulture. And then as soon as I returned home from school in 2016, we didn't have a winemaker that year. So they threw me right into the cellar, and it's been no looking back ever since. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I think because we're so hands-on into the process, we take so much pride in what we put out there. So it's always been, try not to limit ourselves into one style and just try to make the best wine we possibly can every vintage. So I like to think that we do a pretty good job at it, and we keep getting better every vintage because it's the pursuit of perfection. You never quite get there, and you just constantly try to make a better wine each season.
We were talking off air about how you just recently opened up a 2019 vintage you guys had from what did you call it, the traditional series or the traditions, the red velvet that you guys had. Do you ever taste an old vintage and you go, damn, I could have made this so much better now?
Oh, 100%. Especially my first year winemaking, we didn't have a lot of our own fruit, so we sourced fruit from other places. And then my second year, when we had a lot of our own fruit, And then we like 100% committed to Virginia only fruit in that second year in 2017. And 2017 is like one of the best vintages in Virginia. Like everyone talks about like 17. And at the time I thought, oh man, winemaking is pretty easy, but I wish. And then right after 17, we rolled into 2018, which is maybe one of the worst years in like Virginia's winemaking in like recent history. Just so wet and rainy. Like a lot of people just didn't make red wine. And I got like humbled really quickly. So whenever I taste like a 17 vintage, I was like, man, I wish I would have known or taken it as seriously as what I had to do in like 1920, because I had such a bad 2018 vintage that like taught me so much. So yeah, I do that a lot, in fact. And especially if they're really, I mean, if they're like not so great bottles, like 10 years later where it's like, okay, they really were like ready to drink when we were drinking them. But if there's stuff that like keeps getting better, with a lot of our oak aged reds, yeah, it's always like, man, I could have tweaked this to like bring out the fruit, or like little stuff like that.
So we have a Merlot here that you brought up for us. I'm excited to try it because VinePair, one of my favorite wine publications out there, voted this. What'd they vote this?
So this made it into their top 30 Merlots of 2025.
Walk me through the decision of your family to start a vineyard in Chester, Virginia, because I said it earlier, you guys are producing some of the best wine in the region. This region's not necessarily known for like amazing wine. Like you go out to the Blue Ridge where there's a ton of vineyards everywhere you look, and they're producing really good wine. Richmond, what you said, 2016, you guys built the barn. 10 years before that, you started so 2006, Richmond wasn't known, in this central Virginia area, wasn't known for good wine.
Yeah. Yeah, so my dad's an airline pilot, so he traveled a lot and was always bringing home great wines, you know, and it was something that we always enjoyed as a family at dinner. Like even before I was allowed to drink, I was allowed to taste wine with like paired with a certain food.
Yeah.
So, we kind of saw like how great it unites like a dinner table. I mean, it's just kind of like the cherry on top a lot of the time. It's like the right bottle of wine. So we had this property in Chesterfield that we kind of didn't know what to do with. And my dad really wanted like a family business that we'd all come back to. And like we had a family business before this, it was flooring, but no one wanted to come back and like install carpet for the rest of their lives. I mean, we kind of like I grew up on like a forklift unloading carpet trucks on Friday afternoons. So it was like, I think I'll go off to school and like do something different. But then when they said, well, what do you think about putting in a vineyard here? We all were kind of intrigued. We thought he was kind of crazy. So once they got like the ball rolling, we were helping, not really thinking it would expand into what it has. We thought it would kind of be like a hobby garden, and maybe we would make some wine in the garage, or maybe we wouldn't. And then it just kind of snowballed. I think a lot of that like initial fuel that changed it from like a hobby to like a full family business was a little bit of like the chip on the shoulder of people saying like, oh, you can't do this here. And we were like, oh, well, we're going to do it now. So like now we're going to expand it, you know? So we were making some really good wine in the garage that we liked, and everyone was telling us, oh, it's great. So then we were like, okay, let's just keep doing it. Like it is working here on a small scale. Like let's just figure out how to grow it a little bit.
Did your parents test the soil or anything? Because I know like that's a big thing about wine. Like did they test it, or were they just like, let's just see if grapes take?
Yeah, not initially. And that like all 4 of our original varieties, I think we only have 1 left.
Just because they weren't.
And honestly, like it's Chardonnay, so it's like a pretty flexible variety, but we don't like, it doesn't crop very well at that site. It probably should come out and like put something that is more suitable.
Yeah.
And then now we have a much better site than what we started with. I mean, it's been kind of like, okay, now that, we've been like tending to that land for almost 20 years now. It's like, okay, we do kind of have like a better soil, a better water infiltration, a lot of things where we can get away. Just a better know-how of like how to manage it and what to look for. So it's exciting for me to be able to step in that role and kind of push like we just put in an acre of Gamay because I think that like our sideways that we do with Chamberson, some Gamay could really complement that. And some varieties that maybe you don't see as much, like even in the state, because we're in a more southern region.
I have it written down here. You guys have Sauvignon Ritos that you have planted, and what's the other one? The crazy Noré? Is it Noré, the one that's like a weird one from Cornell? You guys have both of those planted?
Yeah, we do. So the Noré is at our other location, at our other farm location in Dinwiddie. But we have the Sauvignon Ritos right there in Chester. So it's a hybrid variety that does really well against the common fungal pressures that we have that kind of hinder the Chardonnay that's right beside it. So that variety is stellar. We've only done one vintage of it so far. We planted it 3 years ago, but we're really loving it, that variety. And it was one of those ones that was like my first run. I'm like, oh, in the next vintage, we're going to like tweak here to highlight these characteristics. So
you mentioned it. You guys just got certified, Regen certified, first vineyard in Virginia to get this. You've got sheep doing the work for you. You have insects doing the work for you.
Yeah.
You've kind of got the vineyard not doing all the work for you, but doing a lot of the work for you.
That's the goal.
Why'd you guys want to start that, and how have you gotten it to the place we're at now?
I mean, a lot of it was just trying to create a healthier vineyard system to where you weren't like managing this sick thing with like medicine all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really was like, okay, this year our fertilizer bill is X, and next year it's X plus 10% because it's just like a little more because we were depleting the soil. So it really started with that, is like, how can we cut back on some of these inputs? I mean, vines are really resilient, right?
Spoken like an engineer here.
Yeah,
how do we exchange this input to...
And selfishly for me, like I had a kid on the way, and I was like, okay, how do I create more time for myself and create this system where I don't have to be in it 10 hours a day every day? Like, why can't I go spend an hour, put sheep in this vineyard, and then let them work for the day, and I can go home for lunch? You know what I mean? So, I mean, there was a lot of like selfish reasons about it too, but really, like, if we could create this ecosystem that was kind of keeping its own checks and balances, like, why not at least give it a shot? It'd be silly not to try, you know? And then it just snowballed from there. It started working. So it was like, okay, now, you know, we started with sheep, which I always say is like hindsight, that probably should have been the last component we added, but it was the first. So then it was like a small dose of it. And we said, hey, this could really work, but we need a lot more sheep. Like we started with 10 sheep. We were like, oh, we actually really need like 100 probably.
Do you have 100 now?
I have 80 right now.
Okay.
85. So we're getting there. That's like our, you know, when you put like the numbers on the paper, that's kind of like where we're going to rerun the numbers when we hit 100 and say, okay, is this like the max carrying capacity, or do we need to go up a little more? So, but then that snowballed into like, okay, now we put sheep in the vineyard. Like, we can't spray the X, Y, and Z insecticides that we have been spraying the last 5 years. So what do we do? It's like, okay, I'm going to take these insecticides out, but I'm going to have to introduce something to control the bad bugs. So I started researching beneficial insects. And then that, like, having the sheep and looking at taking it to the restaurant as we needed to like get rid of the rams out of the herd. We were looking at, okay, it started to take off in the restaurant. So we started needing more lamb each month. So it was like, how do we get like how do we look at our vineyard as not only grape production, but also as like use our cover crop for lamb production to where we can get our lamb to market in a reasonable time. So now we like put down a pretty intense cover crop to not only, you know, retain soil and put more, you know, less compaction, more nutrients into the soil, but also to like help our sheep gain weight a little faster.
Have you seen it impact the taste of the wine?
I personally think yes. I would say it's changing faster year to year now than like that first initial, like we've really only been doing this for like the last 5 years.
Okay.
So I really saw it in like this last vintage that I'm about to bottle in 2 weeks, and then a little bit in like the 24s, but especially the 25s. Now it's like, oh wow, you can really like, I mean, we spend so much time in wine talking about the sense of place, right? It's terroir. And like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But it was hard. I mean, I think that now that we're creating like this closed loop, like ecosystem in our vineyards, it's really highlighting that, because it's like, okay, yes, like this has a sense of place. Like I don't know. I don't think you can. I don't like to say that any of my wines taste sheepy, but like,
yeah,
they definitely like taste more balanced, and a lot of that is from like the nutrition that the sheep are providing now, because it's a little more complete than just your standard like 10-10-10 fertilizer.
Well, it's also like, not to get too I'll get nerdy with it. Like, the reason terroir and everything like was such a thing back when they were using those words was because you were doing everything on your land. You weren't having fertilizer come in. So like, you really were tasting what the dirt was doing to the grapes, because it's something we've talked about where like wine has gotten to this place of like pretentiousness where it's like you sniff the wine and you're like, this smells like blah, 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 blah. And then you have like the wine novices who are like, what do you mean it's grape juice? Like, it doesn't smell like them. It's like, well, you're smelling the dirt and like, what is that? And if you like wine, I think it's fun when you do it. Like, I went to a wine tasting and we were trying Chilean and Argentinian wines, and I smelt it. And I was like, that smells like Tabasco hot sauce. And everyone was like, oh my God, it does. And all this stuff. And it's just like, you got to make it fun when you're smelling it, because wine does smell like that. But you're smelling the soil, you're smelling what that closed loop is like. And in today's day and age, where we're getting more and more big box brands and all of that stuff, it's like they're trying to make it taste the same.
Yeah. You're starting to lose that sense of place.
Yes.
Like,
And
even
that's what makes
vintage
wine
to
great.
vintage, like people are like, oh, why does like our vintages taste different a lot of the time?
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's what that's what I want to taste in a wine or in a vineyard. Like, that year over year change, because you said it, 17 was fantastic in the state of Virginia. 18 was terrible.
Yeah.
I want to taste that. Like, I want to see what it's like.
And that's why like vintage is, I mean, you hear like, oh, it's going to be this bottle of 87, like look for the 87, you know, because it was such a great year in Europe or whatever. But it makes it so important. I think that's where like when you lose that, you like lose so much of the romance in wine, because it's just like the same thing. I mean, it's a big box brand, or it's a big bulk big bulk tank or whatever it is, but it's hard. You when you lose that romance, you really like lose what sets wine like apart from all the other alcohols. I mean, it's a living, breathing thing. I mean, it's really, really is. And if you can keep that sense of terroir, it's even more. I mean, it lives and breathes for even longer, I think.
It's The Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Back in just a moment. If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 106.1 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High in the air, deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park & Go.
Stop smoking with hypnosis or your money back. How can Alex Goen make that claim? In 1979, Goen's thesis was bold, a technology for rewiring the subconscious. The Goen method became so powerful that Alex did something no other hypnotist ever dared. In 1999, he asked the U.S. Patent Office to examine it. That's right, the United States government. On August 13, 2002, the Patent Office agreed and issued a patent. Their exact words, on the record, a unique, new, and useful process. That's not marketing, that's federal record. Today, 500,000 people later, that technology is engineered for one thing. You walk in a smoker, you walk out free. No cravings, no weight gain, no willpower needed. That's how Goen can be so certain. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Monday, August 17th, 8 p.m., Hilton Garden Inn, Colonial Heights. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. or Tuesday, August 18th, 8 p.m., Comfort Suites at Virginia Center Commons. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at alexgoen.com. Goen. That's alexgoen.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to Fitz the Bill, Richmond's morning sports talk show on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back into Fitz the Bill. You're listening to Sidetracked, our weekly long-form interview series right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Today, we're sitting down with Alan Thibault, Director of Wine at Ashton Creek Vineyard, right down in Chester, Virginia's first certified Regenified vineyard, one of the best-kept secrets in the Richmond area. Reminder, Sidetracked, we're sitting down with people around the 804, whether it's people in the sports space or beyond. Alan is one of the best here in the 804. Really enjoyed catching up with him. You're listening to 30 minutes of an hour-long conversation we had with Alan. If you want to listen to the full episode, it's available at 10 a.m. on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify and Apple. All right, let's get back into it. You guys are doing a lot with different people around Richmond, around the shirt you brought in that we'll talk about in a second. Quickly do want to go over to sports. Best wine to drink while watching football.
Might be this Merlot. If it's cold out, probably this Merlot.
Company man, I like it.
Yeah.
This
if
Merlot
we're
is a
talking
good
our
answer.
wines like early season, it'd
Yeah.
probably be our Albarino. I really love our Albarino. It's like just an easy drinker. I mean,
Albarino is also one of the best white wines out there.
Yeah.
The crispness, the salinity.
Especially if you're watching football and you have some chips and salsa or like whatever your snack is, like it goes so well with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably then I always think of like football in like 2 seasons because at Tech it was like scorching hot for like the opening game in like late August, early September, and then it would get so cold by the time you played UVA for Thanksgiving. It was just like, so yeah, we'd switch it up halfway through the season. You had to switch over to the Reds.
Your parents were making wine while you were a student at Virginia Tech. Was that still the garage phase of it all?
Yeah.
Did they ever send you, of age, of course, did they ever send you back? Were you like the homemade wine hookup?
Yeah, for sure. So we weren't kegging wine yet, but I was like, the first time we kegged wine, I was like, man, if I had kegs to take back, it would have been a different story. But yeah, I would bring like a case with just like duct tape labels on it or masking tape labels and, let everyone try. And at the time, at the time, we weren't necessarily drinking, like we didn't know like what the greatest quality wine was. So we just knew like, at first maybe we weren't crazy about it. And then like halfway down, we were like, okay, we love wine. Like this is a whole different kind of, it's such a switch from like, double rum and Cokes or whatever we were drinking at Hokie House. Yeah. Rails at Tots or whatever to like go into like a wine drunk where it's like a little more mellow. We were like, oh, okay, this is.
You go from for us at JMU, it was like Busch Light and Keystone. And it's like, that's a certain type of responsibly drunk, right?
Yeah.
Like, so kind of going back to becoming a winemaker, everything like that, you're a first generation winemaker. You started, you said, in the 2017 vintage, 2018 then throws you a massive curveball.
Yep.
What's the hardest thing that you had to figure out on your own in those early years? And up to this point, what's been the hardest thing about being a winemaker?
Probably just like when I came out, I kind of got thrown into it right out of college where I wasn't like the most organized. I didn't have like an internship underneath someone that had like all the timelines and everything figured out. So
didn't tell you to save 4 cases of wine every vintage so that you would have a vertical.
Or like, how important like punch downs are at the beginning of fermentation and like when you can like miss one and it's not going to kill it. Things like that. I mean, just where you can take shortcuts when it's crazy during harvest and you have so many like logistical things and time management going on and like what items you need to be on top of. And like, you can't take a shortcut here. Like if anything, you need to, if you have so many punch downs to do that day and then you have like a meeting that you have to make, like make sure you get your early ferments done first and really get like that color and that tannin incorporation. And then you can put off like some of your late fermentations that are wrapping up, maybe only need 1 punch down a day, like little things like that.
How do you guys manage? Because VinePair makes Merlot top 30, like you get the recognition from VinePair. you have all of this time and energy and effort that you guys put into making the wine. You have the recognition, and it's pretty affordable. Like when you look at your guys' price per bottle, it checks in lower than most of the other Virginia wineries out there.
Yeah.
How are you guys able to keep it low?
I mean,
and the quality high.
Yeah.
It's like that makes it seem like your prices are so low, but like your quality is high and your price is low. Like,
Yeah.
how do you manage that?
I think a lot of it is like we don't outsource a lot, so we don't. I mean, we're at 22 acres under vine, and it's me and 3 other guys and my dad. So it's not like a lot, and that same goes for the winery. It's like me and my dad.
Yeah.
So we invested in like mechanization a lot early, which has helped because now that all that's paid off, it's like, okay, it's a little less on like the yearly toll. But I mean, I think a lot of it's that. Some of it is like this regenerative thing we're doing. It was some upfront costs, but now it's really saved us some money too. Now that we're kind of getting like the vineyard in its own balance. We're not really like doing a lot with outside fertilizer or some of those common extra costs that we were doing in the past. So I would say it's like a multi-factor of those two things. The other side of it is like we wanted to make high quality wines, but we never wanted it to be like priced out of our market. So we take that into consideration a lot too when people are like, oh, this Merlot is worth $50. But like the people that were with us from like the start, joined our wine club from day one when they like weren't sure about like where we were heading, or maybe if we would commit to quality and like get any better. You know what I mean? Like some wineries don't. It's not like, okay, like we know we can sell this, so like why keep trying to like invest more into the quality side?
We have our 4 flagships that we planted when we first started. Why would we plant Sauvignon Ritos and Nuray and all of this other stuff?
Exactly. So I think, we take a lot of pride in being like a family business and attach our name so much to the Ashton Creek brand that we want it to be a high quality product, but also we want people to sit down and enjoy it with their family and not feel like, oh, well, that's that bottle that I hope someone gives me for Christmas because I can't afford it, or like I only get it once a year. Like, we want it to be an everyday thing.
That's a fantastic answer. 10 out of 10.
Thanks.
Why weird varietals?
Why weird varietals?
Like, I love it, but like we were talking about it earlier. You don't see a lot of these varietals on tasting menus wherever you go, whether it's the big name wineries in Virginia or even some of the smaller name wineries in Virginia. Like, you don't see a lot of these weird varietals.
Sure.
So I'm saying that from a place of like, good job for doing these like weird varietals, because as a wine drinker and a wine nerd, I love trying them.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, sometimes it might be tough to sell a consumer on this varietal they've never heard of. So why weird varietals?
Sometimes I have my days where I'm like, man, it's really hard to like pitch Nuray to someone. It's so much easier to take them like Cab Sauv or something they're familiar with, or Merlot. But I'm genuinely curious about a lot of the stuff I see. So I'm like, let's try it. Like, let's put in an acre of this. Like, especially when we were expanding at our other farm location, it was like a blank canvas for me. So, when I was talking to like the nurseries and it was like, oh, it can bring these components. I was like, oh, and it's more like resistant to X, Y, and Z diseases that are affecting our Merlot or our Cab Sauv or our traditional varieties here on the East Coast. Like, why not give it a shot? And then, it just kind of snowballed for me. I don't know. I really like trying new stuff. And grape varieties are something for me that I like taking in like an adventure on and saying like, does it work? Does it not? It's really actually not very smart because it's like very time consuming and very costly. I mean, you're putting something in the ground that you're not really going to get a crop off of for 3 years. So it's like these long term.
You don't know how it's going to sell?
Yeah. You don't know how it's going to taste even. Cause like I had never had a Nuray before we planted it. Like I couldn't find any.
So you guys are located in Chester, about 20, 25 minutes from where we sit now.
Yep.
45 minutes at the most, depending on where you are on the north side of Richmond. Why should someone make the trip to come down to visit you guys?
Man, why not? I mean, if you're just looking to get out of the city, why not? Exactly. If you love wine, that's obviously reason number one. I think we have really great food. I mean, the same like passion that I put into the wine, I'm not responsible for any of like the food there, but I am responsible for growing some of the lamb that goes into the menu. But it's been such like that part of the business has been such a passion project for us as well, because we really want great food to go with great wine. We didn't want like prepackaged anything. Like we wanted it to feel like this was intentional, because that's always how we loved wine. And we always thought food makes wine so much better and wine makes food so much better. Like they're a match made in heaven. So why would we skimp on the other half of the match? So that's reason number 2, I would say. I mean, it's not, if you, especially in our little location there within, our like 5-mile radius, it's a lot of chains. I mean, I think you can hit like every chicken joint at like one red light there. So just to get something that like feels a little more like homemade and a little more nutritious, a little less. And honestly, it's probably even a little cheaper, because sometimes you go through, I know now that I have kids, I go through the drive-thru and I'm like, holy moly, what did I just spend on like this ultra processed food that's terrible for us?
But it's delicious.
I mean, for sure. And I think that, but I think that's what makes it great at our location too, is that it's really delicious food.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for you, and it's not going to like break the bank.
So you've got 2 kids. You're in your 30s as first generation winemaker, running it, family business, just you and your dad for the most part, a couple of other guys helping out too. Do you ever take a day off?
Usually when we go on vacation,
Okay.
You got to get out of town.
Okay,
to, like, take a day
but you got
off,
to get
right?
like fully out of it.
Yeah. We're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So,
but are you in the vineyard?
Yeah, we're in the vineyard, or like when we bottle, like we bring in a bottling truck that comes in with like a full line. It's like a service. So we do those on like Mondays and Tuesdays when we're closed, so the truck can get in and out easier. So yeah, but the great part about like a family business is the flexibility in like your schedule. Yeah, there's a lot of stress and you're like doing stuff at weird hours, because it's like, hey, I really want to go to my daughter's swim practice today at 11. So like I'm going to go wake up and hedge 2 acres from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. so I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then so there's a lot of that, which is really, it's hard to give up or like think of it any other way then, because it's not like, oh no, like I have to be here from like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that if you can get like creative with it.
Yeah.
And you got to enjoy like your slices of time off. And like, I think since having kids, that's what I've tried to do, is like, hey, if I got like a 2-hour window where I'm at this swim practice or something, like that's where I'm at. Like emails can wait, phone calls can wait. I'll call you back like when I go back. But to just be like present in those windows.
That's deep.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah. It's the wine, man. The wine gets so deep. That's what I love about wine. You get so deep.
I don't have children, and I am addicted to my phone. And if you email me, I will answer the email, and not probably the healthiest. So maybe that's a much healthier way to look at it and to live your life the way that you're doing it. So.
Well, it hasn't always been that way. I mean, the first time, a 2-year-old looks at you and is like, hey, put your phone down and play with me. You're like,
oh,
you're like this tall. And you're like, yeah, why am I like so invested in this thing that doesn't love you back? You know what I mean? Like,
but it might one day.
It might one day.
That's what we.
It might one day.
Alan, we wrap things up on Sidetrack with 3 questions, the same questions for everyone. And they're going to be a little bit of everything. So the first question is, what hill are you dying on today? So, I'm dying on this hill. This is a take that I have. This is something I believe wholeheartedly in, that I won't hear the other side about. This is the hill I'm dying on. It could be, I'll throw some stuff out while you're thinking on it, right? Because it could be something as simple as like, I'm dying on the hill today that Virginia wine is the best wine region in the country. I'm dying on the hill that Nerey is the best mixing grape there is. I'm dying on the hill that I think swim practice should be an hour instead of 2 hours. Like, it could really be anything.
For sure. I mean, I think a hill that I've always stood on since working with it and since we have the bottle here is Merlot is back. Like, it's not, I mean, I'd say Merlot is like one of the best varieties. I feel like it's gotten so much bad press, and it's like a hill I'll die on, that it's like, one of the best standalone varieties in the world, period. Like, it's not, Cab Sauv might be king in sales, but from complexity and from like drinkability, I think Merlot is number one, and just like uniqueness and styles even.
And price point. Like,
for sure.
You can get a good Merlot for a very reasonable price in comparison to a top-end Napa producer for their Cab Sauv might be $150. You can get their Merlot. For some people, like, this could be still a lot of money, for like $50 to $75. So like half the price of what a good Cab Sauv is going for. You can get a great Merlot in.
Well, it's flexibility when like pairing with foods too, because like you can get it so fruit forward, and you can get it like jammy, and you can get it like with some nice like tobacco characteristics or dark fruit or a little more red fruit. So it's like, I don't know, it's just so flexible, and it's been kind of overlooked because of the movie, but I also think that has sparked so many winemakers across the world to like want to make like dynamite Merlots that just like bring it back.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, I don't really care for Merlot because of what they saw in this movie. And then, you know, a lot of us winemakers are like, we'll try this because like this will change your mind.
Yeah.
And that just like brings you, when you change someone's mind on something or open their mind to something, it's like so rewarding. It's such like an adrenaline hit. It's really cool.
Second question. What's your favorite Richmond experience?
Favorite Richmond experience?
Squirrels games.
Wow.
Allianz. Good dinner somewhere. Favorite Richmond experience?
I got to think on that for a minute. Can you give me the third question too?
Third question while you think. What would surprise people most about you?
What would surprise people most about me?
You got two thinkers to finish this one out.
Yeah, for sure. What would surprise people most about me?
You're actually a beer lover and you hate wine.
No, I probably, what would surprise people most is how often I'm not drinking wine and drinking bourbon just to give myself like a break from wine. Cause like, especially when you're doing blending or I mean, you're tasting wine so much as a winemaker all day that a lot of times when you get home, you're like, hey, I just need like a glass of bourbon, or if I'm grilling, like in the summertime, a beer.
Yeah.
Like we always say, like that's the saying in the industry is it takes a lot of good beer to make great wine. Because a lot of the times at the end of the day of like a 10-hour day on a crush pad and you're in there cleaning out a press and you're sweating and like, you just want a cold beer. You know what I mean? So I would say that would surprise a lot of people, but that's probably pretty common for a lot of winemakers.
But there's not a lot of winemakers listening.
That's
or
true.
watching.
That's
so
true.
that's a good answer. What bourbon are you? You like wheated, rye? I know rye.
I love wheated.
Okay. I'm a rye guy.
You're a rye guy?
What's your favorite?
I like rye.
What's your favorite brand? Do you have one?
Man, my sister lives in Kentucky, and the distillery that we always have to go to when we visit her is called Castle and Key. You can't really have you? Oh, that's cool. So
where does she live in Kentucky?
She actually lives in Richmond, Kentucky, which is just outside of Lexington.
Yes.
She went from Richmond to Richmond.
I visited Lexington 2 years ago now, and my girlfriend and I did a bunch of the Bourbon Trail there. So as we were looking it up, I think that's how I found out about
Because I would say you don't see it a lot because it's relatively new. But man, they make a really great wheated. They actually make really great gin as well. So I was never like a gin guy until I had
their gin.
I had their gin and a Bloody Mary, a gin Bloody Mary, and it like I didn't like Bloody Marys either at the time,
Bloody
and
Marys
it changed.
so
it changed my life.
Bloody Mary, so good.
I was like, man. So now I always get them with gin. My favorite Richmond experience. You know what I think is one of the coolest things, and it's a hit or miss experience depending on the time of year, is that you can whitewater raft in Richmond. It's like one of the only cities in the country that you can whitewater raft, like right down the middle of it, basically.
I love it. Those are great answers, Alan. Appreciate your time. Love what you guys are cranking out down there in Ashton Creek, down in Chester, and look forward to visiting again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Cheers to wrap it up. Let's finish this bottle.
Fitz the Bill, Richmond's morning sports talk.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones. Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Journavx suzetrigine begins. Journavx is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Journavx with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Journavx may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Journavx, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit journavx.com.
Amber and Ian.
Mo Vaughn is here, the 1995 AL MVP, kind enough to hang out with us.
You got a picture with the Mets, brings you up. He does a high kick. The moment you go a yard off him, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm pimping. Guys, in my time, we would kind of put our heads down and just play the game. And I think now it's fun, but I think that's a little bit too much. You're asking for something. You're lucky he's not a hitter. He'd be getting drilled.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Rich Eisen Show.
But it's all set up for your Dallas Cowboys, man, to be better right in the middle of the season should they want to add more pass rush, because somebody who's smacking it around with Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be a Raider. And I promised I wouldn't.
Wow.
I promised I wouldn't do that.
Rich.
I promised I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
Let's just get this done with now. He's going to be a Raider.
He's a Raider.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Game on, Richmond. Crank up 106.1 ESPN for live play-by-play, blistering hot takes, and nonstop action. Your ticket to the hype. Stay dialed in. Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
and Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have positioned themselves to win the Michael Parsons trade. Quentin Williams was one of the big acquisitions with the capital that Jerry Jones got when he dealt Michael on the eve of last season. And you saw that Dallas Cowboys defense took a leap in terms of improvement. And so I think they see him as a foundational piece for what Christian Parker, their new defensive coordinator, wants to do.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
This is advertising material.
When a motorcycle accident turns your world upside down, who's going to look out for your family while you're healing? Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys is here for you, fighting for injured riders and getting families the compensation they deserve. The consultation is free. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait, alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hey, it's me, your piggy bank. Remember when you were a little kid? All the dimes and quarters in my back. Yeah, that was good times. Good times. Now, lately, I got to be honest, you've been ignoring me. Money's been slipping through your hands like a greased pig. Get it? Because I'm a... Anyway, I know how it is. Now that you get a real paycheck, it's nice to have stuff. You'll start saving money next year. Well, I hate to tell you, but good saving habits start now. Put just $20 in the bank a month. Make your own coffee at home instead of that latte every morning. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Those changes alone could save you thousands of dollars a year. Come on, I'm your piggy bank. We can be together again, me and you, the special times. Anyway, if you don't want me to cry anymore, feed me. Go to feedthepig.org for more ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Everyone to Westside School Spring Fling.
All right, I've gone through all the tracks. Just move through the beats. Do your thing.
All right, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, a.k.a. DJ Hook.
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. Okay, I went to the practice sessions. I slept good. I feel good.
We will now begin the test. Please take out your pencils.
I got this.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
1061 ESPN in your pockets. Download the app for on-demand shows, live updates, podcasts, and sports takes hotter than a game-winning drive. Your team, your way. Get it now.
Does your home need a new heating and cooling system? Call Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. At Herman Allen, we provide expert service for summer tune-ups and system installations. Plus, for a limited time, purchase a new qualifying Lennox system for up to $1,300 in rebates for qualified buyers and incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Contact Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating and Cooling at 804-746-5853 or HermanAllenPlumbing.com today. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Every year, summer ends and the kids go back to school. This year, I'm going back too, at My Computer Career. They'll help me get the skills and certifications that can get me noticed by top employers in months, not years. Now I'm on a fast track to a high-demand IT career where the rewards can finally match my value. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. It's never too late to go back to school.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the new Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery drawing. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number that's yours. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Look at all the cars. Lots of colored cars. Ah, there's a blue one. Isn't it pretty? Ooh, look how fast that red one's going. It's red like that stop sign. Like my jacket.
This is a 38-year-old man.
My jacket's not a car, is it? Is my jacket a car? My jacket is red, but it doesn't go fast.
He may sound a little strange to you and me. But to his 2-year-old son, who's interested in cars and colors, he makes perfect sense.
That's the sound cars make.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. So follow their lead. Take simple everyday moments like eating dinner or just watching cars go by and turn them into learning moments.
Ooh, look, red car.
Yes, it's moving awfully fast.
Blue car.
Yes, the man in the red car is about to meet the man in the blue car. Get himself a pretty pink ticket.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Over there's the water. Whoosh, whoosh. And look at all this stuff I'm standing on. It's called sand, and it's everywhere.
This woman may sound silly to you and me.
It's made up of little tiny pieces of rocks. Teeny little pieces of rocks.
But to her 2-year-old son exploring the world around him, she makes perfect sense.
How does it feel when you touch the sand? Is it warm? Uh-huh. It's hard to hold in your hand, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Learning starts long before school does, and children are naturally curious. They want to learn, so follow their lead. Take simple everyday moments like sorting laundry or playing on the beach and turn them into learning moments.
Is this water? No. Very good. This is sand. Oh, no, it's not food. It's sand. We don't eat sand.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. Find out how at bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Amber and Ian.
Mo Vaughn is here, the 1995 AL MVP, kind enough to hang out with us.
You got a picture with the Mets, rings you up. He does a high kick. The moment you go a yard off him, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm pimping. Guys, in my time, we would kind of put our heads down and just play the game. And I think now it's fun, but I think that's a little bit too much. You're asking for something. You're lucky he's not a hitter. He'd be getting jokes.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Stuck off the field? 106.1 ESPN's got your back. Stream every debate, score, and highlight on the 106.1 ESPN app. Download today and stay in the game.
The Golix.
I can't imagine you were a fashionista rolling up to training camp with the Philadelphia Eagles back in the early 90s.
I understand it was harder when I played, but I'm not calling this generation soft.
You would never.
I'm really not, because I'm jealous. I am jealous of the fact that they cannot go back-to-back practices in pads. When some days we would go back-to-back practices with pads twice a day. I hated camp.
The Golix. Weekday mornings from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1s. Every day, one thought haunts you. What if I stop? The British Medical Journal says most gain every pound back 4 times faster. Why? The shot quiets your appetite. It can't touch your habits. They live in the subconscious where Ozempic can't go. There is an answer. The Journal of the American Medical Association found adding behavioral therapy to GLP-1s nearly tripled the results. Tripled. Hypnosis is behavior therapy concentrated, and the Goen method is hypnosis with a federal record. A technology for rewiring the subconscious, awarded a U.S. patent in 2002, engineered to kill cravings, full on half the food, designed to work with no willpower needed. So the day you and your doctor decide you're done with shots, the new you is already built. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Monday, August 17th, 5:30 p.m., Hilton Garden Inn, Colonial Heights. Stop smoking, 8 p.m. Or Tuesday, August 18th, 5:30 p.m., Comfort Suites at Virginia Center Commons. Stop smoking, 8 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before. Sign up at alexgoen.com. Goen. That's alexgoen.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
You are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage. It's a good thing you got me as your wingman.
Right. You mean when you threw that flash grenade at me?
Whatever, man. Huge round. Seriously, great stuff.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes.
All right, class. I'm going to pass back your tests. And a high score goes to Brian.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you have the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Nancy Lieberman joining us here on Unsportsmanlike.
I played ball with Witten to Tony Romo.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, he's the best basketball player that I have ever played with. We had an incident. I was his teammate. He threw a pass to me, and it went through my hands and it went out of bounds. He starts yelling, "Why didn't you catch the ball?" And you know me. I went, "Why didn't you catch the snap?"
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Babbel proudly presents The Poison Gift.
Derek, hi.
Hi, I got you something. Ein bisschen Gift.
Gift? Ist das Gift?
Ja, ist das Gift. Für dich.
If you buy her a gift, don't tell her it's poison. Use Babbel. Practice with Babbel's guided conversations based on real situations. Get up to 50% off on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming. Happy screaming. Summer screaming. Dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time. Only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Longtime listeners may recall that I'm in a 10-sport fantasy league called the All-Sport Fantasy League that a friend of mine invented. We're about to have the draft for season 20. It's the 4 pro sports: college football, college basketball, European and MLS soccer, tennis, men's and women's, NASCAR, and golf. And 10 sport. Very tasteful, but also horrible.
Would you want to play in a league like this?
Kind of.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. The Rich Eisen Show.
Vikings have already decided. It's Kyler Murray. All right, Kevin O'Connell won.
I think he's demonstrated a mastery of our system and this year's system.
Mastery of system, by the way. That's not a bad fantasy name.
It's a Metallica album.
Right? Mastery of the system is the Metallica. Smell the glove.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. This is Freddie and Harry.
Keith in Sweet Home, Chicago. Outside of the Rams, which NFL team is truly in a Super Bowl or bust season?
Freddie, Harry, listen, you hear that sound? Shots fired. Atlanta Falcons should be in Super Bowl or bust. I think they're going to bust. Next, New York Jets. Wow. It already blew up.
I'm going to fight Keith when I see him in Chicago. I can't wait to see you.
Freddie and Harry. Weekdays from 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Amber and Ian.
People are saying now the Dodgers have ruined baseball. And so that narrative does help Major League Baseball from a PR perspective. I don't think it's going to help them with the players. Like, they're not going to go into these negotiations and now they're like, well, now the Dodgers are big bad Dodgers because of Skubal. And the players will be like, you know what, you're right. We've had a change of heart because of this Skubal trade. That's not how this is going to play out. But it does matter in the court of public opinion.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
You know, not all sports talk is created equal. Some just fits the bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, and every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond, we're covering the plays, the players, and the passion of the game. If you love sports, this show fits just right.